going to take you on a little bit of a journey from my company, the Pet Wellness Direct, because that is something that has been kind of spearheading a lot of the advanced strategies. The issue that we ran into back in November, and I'm not going to go like all the way through, but I'm going to give you kind of like a little bit of um, a review, just so you can kind of see where things were and where it's coming from, and then where they're going now. So I'm looking at the analytics of the dashboards of the customer overview, and then we're going to go here. So I'm going to go back a little bit more of a macro view, because this is going to lead into our first issue and then what we had as our last issue. So this is our active subscribers over time. We have been flowed here where it's like kind of down, then kind of up, then kind of plateau. And then we did our optimization inside of Meta only. We completely killed Performance Max spend. We stopped increasing. We actually took it down 20%. And then we pushed about an extra $750,000 into just Meta. And that skyrocketed us and everything was going good. Then it started to flatline. Then it started to flatline again. Then it actually literally plateaued, and then it started going down. I was like, "Uh-oh!" Like,
that's not good.
I know. I was like, "Man, we did it. We're geniuses." We went from 2,300 subscribers all the way up to 3,800 subscribers. So we gained 1,000 new recurring subscribers in a matter of a quarter. Fantastic growth. Like, everything's looking good. This is the last 12 months, by the way. So it's not like we were just like scaling and all of a sudden we did it harder. Like, this went from, man, we couldn't get over 2,500 to blast it up to almost 4K. Then we started to plateau, right? But then we started to plateau. This is actually mostly when we started optimizing for purchase NC. And the purchase NC is this bad boy right here, per purchase new customer. These campaigns have optimized. Well, there wasn't actually, it wasn't actually 178. It was more, it started to get up to 248 and up to 220. These two here, these started to hurt. They started to get a little bit more too expensive. And that was from March 1st to March 10th. And that's where you see like kind of the March 1st through March 10th, it actually started to go down a bit. These new customer purchases were starting to get hit. Now, here's what's really interesting in Meta's platform is the conversion actions are so much more important than we ever thought possible for the entirety of the account. Like, it is getting kind of ridiculous. We launched a new type of conversion action called per purchase immune. Now, purchase immune only fires when the critical immune defense product is purchased in that campaign. So if you have a campaign that is selling a type of category or a type of product or a type of whatever, and it gets a sale on another product, it will still show that, hey, you have a purchase. And hey, you'll actually still have a purchase of a new customer because it's whatever selling. So if they're buying anything, it's just always a new customer. Well, that actually started to fatigue. Now, yes, we did dump in a metric crap load of money, and these things are spending about 120K a week. So it is way up there. We were spending about 40K a week and now 120 a week. So yeah, like we definitely pay for that growth. But you'll notice this little blip here at the end that went from 3,900 down to 38, and then all of a sudden, whoop, now back up to 39 and almost 4,000. If we hit 4,000, it'll be our highest amount of subscribers that we've ever had on any given time. 4,000 people paying us every month. That blip right here is actually when we instilled something that this is the per purchase immune. You can see the first like kind of couple of days it was $380. And then it started to optimize, and now it's all the way down to $59. And the other ones that were $220 and like $240 are now back under the $200 mark. What's interesting about this is you can kind of hover over the results and see that I have 52 purchases of immune. The per purchase new customer is 21. And the website purchases is 57. This purchase immune is now the new customer purchase. Meta will dedupe. Unfortunately, Meta will dedupe Cappy when they are when they're imported. So if I said, hey, I have a new customer purchase and it's a new customer purchase of our product, it says, okay, I'm going to take this one. Like it whatever you send in, it will dedupe to the most recent. So we had to sacrifice our purchase NC that is now off in this campaign, and it's optimizing for per purchase immune new customers. So this one is saying if it's a new customer purchase and of the product that is trying to purchase, that a product that is being purchased, that is where it's showing up here. So what this is essentially saying is we have 57 purchases, only 5 were not of the product that we want. And the same thing that happened here is per purchase NC is now 237, per purchase is 269. Great. So what is this telling us? It's telling us that Meta will optimize, obviously, for the conversion action that we want it to. If we allow it any sort of wiggle room to take credit or to optimize towards something else that is not what the campaign is trying to get done, it will, but at the detriment or at the sacrifice of that campaign's goal. So yes, of course, I can make a purchase off of any existing customer anytime I want, but it hurts the campaign. Why? It doesn't scale.
Got it.
Yes, I can make a purchase of a product called Total Oral Care Spray or the whatever other products. So we have like Critical Immune Defense, Total Oral Healthcare Spray. We have some stacks. We have some allergy. We have a whole bunch of stuff. And if it makes a purchase on anywhere else, it will take credit for it. Yes, you will have a purchase. Yes, but at the detriment of the campaign's goal, because it's still not getting us what we need from that campaign. We've talked about this quite a bit in terms of many other different types of Google campaigns. And the Google campaigns is the same thing that we're seeing here, which is if we have a content pivot, which means a person,
I know, right? I love it.
Right. If a person comes in and clicks on ad A and then goes somewhere else throughout the site, whatever it is, and then purchases product B over here, like randomly here, it still says, yes, I did something. I got a sale. And so now Meta's like, okay, so I can sell this and I can sell that. Now,
times that by out. Exactly.
Times that by 3,000 SKUs. Oh, we found another SKU over here. You know, this one has actually a higher AOV. Excellent. And then we found another SKU over here. It has a high amount of sales, but has lower AOV. Excellent. So what you're trying to get done is send traffic from A to B here, and then it can kind of go off and do whatever it wants over here. And that's the point where we see Meta starting to fall apart. This isn't just one test. I have about five campaigns or 5 tests running at the same time on 5 different companies. They're all vastly improving in terms of new customer acquisition. We're actually starting to see really good improvements. I already presented the new customer purchase inside of Google Ads for that supplement company. That one is now beating Meta, which is great. I'm actually getting more ad spend now to start to compete with Meta, because it was like 5 times the spend and now it's only like 3 times the spend. But whenever there's a instituted what we call content pivot, which means, Caden, I want to sell you A, and you're like, cool, but I bought B. Yeah. We think that A sold. We assume that A sold. But what B was could be 10, 20, 100,000 other products. Like it could be anything. So I have never seen in a small amount of time period at all where simply just kind of like creative testing was able to spend 300% more, going from 700 up to $3,000, and getting our actual product that was purchased down by 84%.
That's crazy.
This is just creative testing too. Like this is not even like, there's not anything crazy. This is just trying to get creative testing. And then I thought, well, if that's working here, even this one not spending any difference is getting 20% less per purchase new customers. And this one actually spending up 20% more is getting 21% less. So to get from there to there, we had to only count new customers. My hope is going from here to here, good. Then we've plateaued. Now to get the next leg up is going to be individual product purchases that we're now only optimizing for inside the platform. This is not just a Meta thing. This is also exactly a Google thing as well. We're seeing the same exact scenario take place on a different customer inside of Google Ads. The exclusions don't matter. I just got off a call with, unfortunately, a client who we tried to launch some other campaigns inside of Meta, and the Meta exclusions, they just didn't care.
They're speed bumps is really all they are.
I mean, they're not even like speed bumps. Sometimes it's like an indication to go faster. It's stupid. It's so weird. But we're looking at this and say, okay, we made these same changes inside of Meta, And inside of Meta, if we add a campaign name that contains category, this is going to be our wildcard inclusion. And we take the same time period from when we scaled here compared to the previous period. And you'll kind of see some weird oddities. And this is what Meta is doing. Meta will now dedupe, and almost the same thing as Google now. We're seeing Google also dedupe. And
can you explain the deduping a little bit more for people that might not understand that?
Exactly. Once Google or Meta locks in a user to a asset group in Performance Max or an ad group in Google or a ad set in Meta, it locks them in so hard that you can't actually extract that person and put them into a different campaign. So what we're seeing here, let me just see why. Sorry, I'm talking while I'm doing this. So that's good. That's good. That's good. I don't know why this is not pulling up data. Let me. Am I
lagging out?
Well, let me just. Oh, that's why. I reverted back to the other one. All right. So sorry about that. I'm just going to redo these here. But we're starting to see some kind of really cool, but also crazy oddities that we didn't see before. And the way for us to overcome this is absolutely not with exclusions. I'm actually fighting a Google rep right now because they're like, upload your customer list. I'm like, motherfucker,
No.
last like 3 times I did that, I have 200% more returning customers. How can you guarantee that that's not going to happen? I'm waiting to hear back.
They're not going to, yeah, they're just going to say, I'll just do it.
Right, exactly. So this is hard. This is the next level up. This is where these breakthroughs come in. Like, I know that to kind of, get that next level up and get those advanced strategies and everything. And this next kind of advanced strategy that we're kind of breaking through, and I'm going to keep sharing examples because it's just, I have tons of these things now. It is starting to get to the point of ridiculousness where no exclusions work. All of Meta and Google's inclusions get ignored. The only thing that we've actually seen push the needle up or actually makes any sort of impact anywhere whatsoever, even on a campaign that we're spending $1 million a month on and running flat, like there is no optimization or there's no increase in performance. It is just existing customers that are just piling in, and we keep running into the same issues over and over and over again. Remove the pixel, isolated landing page works for some time until it identifies existing customer traffic.
All the Band-Aid,
oh my God,
things together.
Every single thing that has been trying that is like a scalability has been hitting some crazy roadblocks. And I don't know why this is not going faster. But anywho.
Well, and a key point I also want to bring up too, because I know that we have some people that have smaller accounts that are watching this, is like, and you made a really good point earlier, like there's iterations to this, right? Like you start out with like, getting results in the account. Then you go into like new customers, and then you go into like segmentation on different products, to see if you can scale further. And that's kind of where you're at now. So all these problems that you're solving are for accounts that have extremely hard issues with new customers.
Yeah.
Like that's like the biggest thing, like recharge subscriptions, like you just talked about, like way too much warm traffic flowing into the mix. Yep. So
exactly. And when they
point that out.
Exactly. When they click, they get locked in. So check this out here. This is a new campaigns that have been launched. 300 increase in spend since like kind of like the first couple days of moving, and cost is going up. Leads are going up. Cost per leads went down 45%. Sales were up 72%. Customers up 71%. NCAC down 68%. Wow. ROAS, obviously went from 1,500 with crazy low spend down to 7, but it's a 7x return. So this is us pushing into the same products that we are on Google. Now, when you look at the engage view conversion, 43, 58, 43, 26, 37. When this is engage view conversion, says, yes, I would take Meta at their word as what it was engage view conversion versus a click. This is what the NCAC metrics look like at 40. Check this shit out. What if we said the attribution filters are saying, you know what? I actually don't want to import any engage view. Just do click only. Just click. The 40s and 50s and 40s and 20s and 30s go to
drum roll for a while, for a really long time.
Yep. So we got 120, 114, 200, 300. These two campaigns here have crazy in-app ROASs at 10, 10, and 7 and 7. But your 7 is giving you a 1, 7 is giving a 1, 10, 10, giving a 2 and 3. So what's interesting is these things are going up to $242 a click. And now this still is still looking good. But this is the deduping that is actually taking place. Now, if we said last 30 days as an example here, and then look at click only, because we actually launched these a little bit before. This is kind of the more recent performance. But
quick question on that too, by the way. So
yes, sir.
On the attribution setting, you're doing 7-day click and 1 day as well, or
Yes, 7-day click, 1-day view.
Okay, so you're adding the 1-day view in there. Okay, so that's why it's got it.
Yeah. So what happens with the attribution setting is I say, okay, I'm looking at actually it's an all click. And then I said, but if it's a first click here, now look at this. 100, 100, 200, 1200, 1200.
Wow. Yeah.
12x
Different parts of the
ROAS.
funnel.
12x ROAS, 1200. So this went from $1,200,
Jeez.
1200 and 1200 on a first click basis. But if you said, well, let's just take Meta at their word that 1200 goes to and 1200 here, it's literally 1207 and 1206. You can kind of see them here. They're both basically the same. But the engage view conversion is dropping this down so hard, down to $20 and $13 on NCAC. That's new.
Yeah.
That's not returning. So why the difference between $20 and 1200? Oh, go ahead, Gabe.
Yeah, I might be jumping ahead, but why aren't you doing like just 7-day click then? Is it just like pumping more data? Like what's kind of the thought process behind that?
Yeah, the existing customers and the new customers predate Wicked. So I'm trying to at least reattribute them to where the original source was, because if we let them just say no only first click, like emails at $1 million every week.
Got it. So you're doing it to push volume data into Meta. Got it.
Well, and also be able to identify this. The difference between $1,200 and $20 here is, and sorry, my microphone moved in a squeak, so it might have just blasted your ears out if you guys all heard that. I heard it through my headphones. I'm like, man, that's squeaky. I got to oil this microphone. But what we're seeing is that the deduping that takes place at the ad set level is actually taking place at the time of click, not the time of view. So what ends up happening is when you launch new categories and new campaigns, when you launch them for the first time ever, and you see the ad spend is 0 up to $200 or $2,400, and if you count the engage view versus click, it's $20 and $1,200. So these were showing ads to people, but these were the ones that the clicks were getting. Gotcha. So what's interesting about this is what we asked Meta to do. The same thing that we asked Google to do. And I'm going to pull up the Google case study now that this is actually finally loading. But these two are doing just as much work as these two here. All of these are good. There is no issue between any of these. I mean, they're literally spending the exact same money.
Yeah,
the problem,
literally, and it's not ABO either.
No, and the problem is though that these are where the clicks are getting that are deduping out of here, and these are now kind of just dead campaigns. The exclusions are there, the existing customers are there, the click only. I mean, all of that stuff is actually happening. But for a push to scale and a push for a increase in performance, you can kind of see these eCPNVs are now just retargeting from where the clicks are coming in from. So they're now 3 times more expensive, and they're scaling up, and they're not bringing us new customers. They're assisting. So it's an insane thing. Now this is counting all purchases. We are going to be moving this one into only first customer purchase to see how that affects everything overall. But it is so important to be able to kind of identify what is going on with these campaign types and why something all of a sudden is $3 versus $15, and why our first click NCAC, why I would never put another dime into these here.